It is a ticket that costs hundreds of dollars with no law enforcement in sight, only eyes in the sky. Red light cameras have been along intersections in the Bay Area for more than 15 years now. Many communities installed them as part of an effort to make our roads safer. But as 10 Investigates dug into the data, our team found that's not always the case. Even those cities are collecting millions of dollars. Over the next 2 nights, we are taking a deep dive into your safety and what happens to the money collected from those tickets. Here's Jennifer Titus with part 1 of our investigation, Seeing Red, Seeing Green.
It's a Sarasota intersection.
Yes.
Eileen Fabregas drives through nearly every day.
I was coming back home on Total Avenue.
But on a day back in June, she says something was off with the light.
We were all sitting in traffic, like the red light was stuck on red and wouldn't turn into green light.
She says minutes and minutes passed, and when it finally turned green,
there were a few vehicles in front of me, one being a semi-truck. And I just figured, I'm not gonna get stuck here another 10, 15 minutes in this red light.
That intersection is one of the 30 in the city with red light cameras. Fabregas's car caught on cam.
When you first opened up the ticket and saw how much it was,
I was like, whoa!
Charged $158.
This is your first ticket.
My first.
Driving, anything.
Driving.
And she wasn't the only driver faced with that fine last year.
I see the evidence.
I let my friend borrow my car. This intersection is problematic.
Our months-long investigation uncovered some cities and counties across the state collect millions of dollars a year from drivers with red light camera tickets.
Based on the testimony evidence presented, the red light camera violation would be upheld.
Drivers try to fight them, but many have no luck.
They just blew me off, and I'm like, okay, I'll take my violation and walk out. And which I did.
We know that red light cameras are not new. They've been around since 2010 when lawmakers passed a law that allowed cameras to be installed and citations to be issued. What is new, there are restrictions on installing them. Communities now have to pass an ordinance and show that there is a heightened safety risk. They also have to send a report to the state each year, giving us a better look on whether or not the cameras are making intersections safer.
I didn't even know where they were.
Under Florida law, cities and counties with red light cameras have to report things like how much money was collected and whether or not the crashes at the intersections went down.
Some of these communities are seeing an increase in the number of crashes that they have at the intersections that have the cameras, and also people just running red lights.
The latest report, just published in January, compiles data from 2024 to 2025 from the 42 municipalities with red light cameras. It shows the total number of crashes went down by 220 from the previous year. Digging even deeper, though, 33% of communities with cameras saw the number of crashes increase, and another 5% stayed virtually the same.
Right, is it keeping people safe, or is just money for their budgets?
We see cities like Port Richey with a population of just over 3,000 bringing in nearly $1.2 million in paid violations. It's enough to ticket everyone there twice. Similarly, Florida City with a population just over 13,000 issued enough red light camera tickets to ticket each person who lives there. Tampa, the third largest city in Florida, taking in $14 million. While neighboring Orlando took in about half that and plans to double the number of cameras by this summer. Controversy over the money collected is just one of the reasons about 20 different cities removed the cameras in the last 2 decades. While other communities lean on research at the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety for keeping the cameras.
We compared the crash trends in these cities with the crash trends in some large U.S. cities without the real life safety camera program to see if there was any change in the crash.
Wen Hu, the researcher on the study, says they found large cities with red light safety cameras reduced fatal red light crashes by 21% compared to those without.
Yes, there was a significant reduction.
But something we also noticed is the study began in 2014 and was published in 2017.
I saw that it was done almost 10 years ago.
So we haven't done any research after that one. Research done by other safety organizations have found similar results, that these red light safety cameras reduce these injury crashes.
She says red light cameras are effective.
Do you guys still think that red light cameras do help prevent crashes from happening?
Oh, yes, definitely.
But a local county says they got rid of the cameras because they weren't really making intersections safer. You can watch that part of our story right now streaming on the 10 Tampa Bay News app. And tomorrow night, we're going to take a look at how the funds collected are being used. Jennifer Titus, 10 Investigates.
And as our team was working on this series, a Broward County judge dismissed a red light camera ticket. He agreed with the car owner's defense that it's unconstitutional for the person receiving that notice in the mail to have to prove that he or she was not behind the wheel when the camera snapped the photo. Attorney Charles Gallagher says he expects to see more cases like this in the future because of the burden of proof.
You have to prove through some affidavit or some proof that it is somebody else and it's not you in order to have that defense asserted, which is contrary to again to Florida law on the whole burden of proof that rests with the state, be it civil, be it criminal. If it's a civil determination, they still got to meet greater weight of the evidence. If it's criminal, again, beyond a reasonable doubt. So that's the unconstitutional argument.
Again, Gallagher says asking that a defendant prove that he or she wasn't driving is contrary to due process. And he says this ruling is going to be significant for future cases.